You're listening to Real Talk Texas with local expert Steve Hakes. Now, here's Steve.
Welcome back. Today we're focused on wealth management. We're focused on your financial part of your life. And if you were listening to our show in the last 30 days, you heard me rant and kind of give you the guidelines for a life plan and things like that. And part of my life plan is my financial arena and what I'm doing with my finances. And that's it's an account of my life plan. And so what Paul did was I said, look, we need to find somebody to help us with that part of our life plan, or for our listeners' life plan. And so, we've got KR Wealth Management in the studio of Dallas. And if we're going to give you a number to text or call and leave a message later in the show if you're interested and you want to get in touch, with Kelly and Hillary, and we'll put you in touch. So stay tuned on that. So, before the break, we started talking about the market, what's going on in the marketplace. I think we all know that, when things get uncertain, people freeze up. A lot of times, I think that's why a lot of people got hurt in the financial markets, because things started to happen and they didn't make any moves. They just kind of cocooned. And I find out a lot of people will just kind of go for cover, So now I think it's a little more safe, but I don't know. So it's beginning of 2013. It's January. Starting February. I haven't really addressed that part of my life plan yet. What do I need to be doing? I'm starting to getting ready to do taxes, of course. What is it that our listeners should be doing right now to get ready for the 2013?
Well, I think it's very important that you first and foremost feel comfortable with the person that you're working with, and that you set aside some time to sit down with your spouse and review all the statements. Right now is a perfect time to do that. All the holidays are over, and we have things have kind of calmed down a little bit, and all of your tax statements and year-end statements are coming in the mail, whether it be your mortgage statements or your brokerage statements. Everything is getting ready for tax time, and that's not till April. So you have a couple of months to set aside some time to review your investments and make sure that you are on the same page with your advisor. I think it's very important to reach out to them and feel that you are being heard and that you can ask them any and all questions. It's important to be very informed and educated. Kelly and I love working with our clients because we think it's so important to educate them on every aspect of their investments and their financial lives. There is never a silly question or a dumb question, and it's important that you have an open dialogue with someone when talking about something so personal such as your finances.
Well, Hillary, also, there is a time clock clicking as well as far as adding to a 401k or opening up some things that will help you with your taxes. Are you guys sitting down and talking about that right now?
Absolutely. Hillary and I get lots of calls and referrals from people who just want a second opinion. They feel like in some cases that their advisor isn't really on the same page with them, or they're not working well with their spouses. And to that end, absolutely, there are some deadlines in several types of retirement accounts. You have until your tax filing deadline, and that can even be with extensions. So in some cases, if you're self-employed or if you work for a certain kind of company, you can set up those plans even though the tax year has passed and fund them for 2012. A lot of people don't know that.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes. It's only traditional IRAs and those contributions, but those contributions tend to be fairly small relative to SEPs, pensions, and other types of vehicles. So there are ways, and they obviously leave room for, once you do your taxes, many people then and only then know what they can contribute. But that's what we're doing right now, is just looking at portfolios and really assessing first where the risk is. Because we are in uncertain times. Yes, we have a fiscal cliff answer, but there's going to be another crisis and another and another. It's just important that investors know what they own and where the risks are, and if that's going to serve them on their goals over the next 5 to 10 years.
Well, as a consumer out there, I see a lot of commercials from different companies where, hey, go online, fill out some information, and they'll tell me what I need to do. And they give me this line that I'm supposed to follow, and I'm supposedly going to be okay. And that's a little scary for me as well, because I'm a relationship person, and I feel like I may make mistakes. I may think I'm pretty smart about that stuff, but I may make mistakes along the way. What is it that your firm does to help people that's different than if I went online and just opened an account?
I think the main thing to understand about those commercials, which they're great, but those commercials and all types of investment analysis, online that you can plug in what's your number and where are you going, they all assume that everyone has the same circumstance and everyone has the same life, which we all know that's not true. We established our own firm away from the large brokerage firms we had worked from because we know it's about the relationship. People have, grandchildren and children, and then they have a child that falls on hard times that they need to help, and we help them not destroy their own finances in order to help a family member. Looking at how to make sure we're leaving an estate should something happen. Figuring out how to retire on time. Should we do this? Should we make those investment decisions, or should we buy that house? I mean, those are the people we refer to you, but all of those things tie back to how best to help someone get to where they're going. And as much information and self-help as there is online, most people don't really know how to use it effectively.
Well, and I think that, when it comes down to it, they give you a specific solution. It sounds to me like you guys do a holistic review, and you guys can do life insurance policies, right? You can do annuities and pretty much the breadth of the financial stuff. Plus, you can give advice and refer them to other people that if you don't do that. Is that correct? I mean, what do you do?
Yes, that we do every sort of investment out there, whether it's a CD or stocks, bonds. Cash management is something that we've specialized in the last few years. Really, risk management is first and foremost for us. We have found that loss is much worse than gain is good. It's very important that you preserve the wealth that you have after a catastrophic few years in the market. Many clients come to us and say, look, I had this $1 million account several years ago, and now it's worth $300,000, and that's obviously
So how do I get it back
example.
in 2 years?
Right, exactly. And there is a lot of strategy that needs to be in place to get you to that point and get you to retirement. And there are many investments out there that can get you there, but you have to have a financial advisor, a financial team that is on the same page as you, that can manage all of your expectations that are both realistic for the gains in the market that we can expect. And we obviously always expect to exceed our expectations for our clients and do that, but it's important that everybody's on the same page at the same time. It's been a tough few years, and the sooner that you take a hard look at your investments, the better it will serve you. You have to adapt to the environment we're in instead of postponing that and kicking that can down the road.
So if you're listening out there and you want to get in touch with KR Wealth Management and you want that personal advice, I'm going to give you a number just to go ahead and send a text to the show here, or call and leave a voicemail, and we'll get you in touch with KR Wealth Management. And that number is 817. Get out your cell phone, 817-925-2546. That's 817-925-2546. And that you can text Real Talk Texas by sending a text. Just say help. And that'll be enough to get me or Paul the signal that, hey, we're going to get you in touch with KR Wealth Management of Dallas and get you that personal interview so you can sit down and talk to them about your whole financial world and protecting yourself and your family and things like that. I think it's so important. It's the beginning of the year. Now's the time for you guys to do this. You really need to sit down with them and talk about it. And also, you can go to realtalktexas.com. That's realtalktexas.com. Just send us a quick note through there, and that's another way if you prefer to contact us in that manner. So I'm sitting down. I'm trying to get ready for my taxes. I'm reviewing things. Should I be more confident as an investor today than I was last year?
It depends on how.
Question.
That's a dicey question. Regardless of what your political affiliations are, there's always going to be someone in your party or a different party, in office. It's just the way it is. And the confidence depends on who you talk to on what given day and what they've just read. I go back to my soapbox, which is, this is America. We are an exciting country. We do things politically and economically that virtually no country in the world does. And at the end of the day, I believe in our country, and I believe in the companies in our country, and I feel that people, if they want to meet their goals, are going to have to invest somewhere. Personally, I would prefer to own as many U.S. companies that I know and love, so that when I go to the grocery store and pick up a box of Band-Aids, that I'm supporting those companies. I mean, it's just really a common sense. We're not trading yen put warrants. We're not trading esoteric things, not anymore. I mean, if we're going to make it ahead, I believe that we should know what we own. So I believe you should have more confidence. Interest rates are 0.1%. You can't buy an 8% CD, not anywhere.
Right.
I mean, the Treasury is even the 30-year Treasury is super low. People can't get to their retirement needs with those kind of returns. You have to look at the marketplace and try to cobble out a higher return, because inflation and interest rates aren't going to get you there.
You're listening to Real Talk Texas. I'm Steve Hakes. I'm your host, and today we've got Kelly Rigas and Hillary Higgins of KR Wealth Management Group of Dallas in the studio. Stay tuned, because after the break, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about some of the specific common issues that they deal with their clients on a day-to-day basis and what they're doing now to help them out today.